Welcome aboard.
Prisoners exit the bus and make their way to the plane sitting on the tarmac. They are flanked by officers holding shotguns. The aircraft is an aging propeller plane, looking like it's straight out of the 1940s. There is even a helicopter buzzing across the airport to provide more security. Con Air, a popular movie that was released in 1997 starring Nicolas Cage, involved the transportation of prisoners being transferred to a supermax facility. While the movie was overly dramatized, this film brought to light an actual part of the prison process: air transportation. The federal government operates an expansive prison system across the country. They need a way to quickly transfer inmates across these prisons. Con Air is the solution. April 13th, 2020. A deadly EF4 tornado would rip through South Carolina. It would be the second deadliest tornado outbreak in South Carolina, with 9 fatalities. The tornadoes would cause over $15 million in damages across the state. Unfortunately for inmates at FCI Estill, the EF4 went directly through the prison. FCI Estill suffered extensive damage, including parts of the roof being ripped off and large gaps in the perimeter fencing. Con Air assisted with the transfer of 934 medium security prisoners to USB Lewisburg, showing that this service can also step in an emergency situation for evacuation purposes. Today on Chasing Crime, we'll be exploring the prisoner air transportation system. We'll take a look at its origins, how it operates, and the facilities within the federal prison system. Make sure you stay until the end as we check out some references in popular culture. Let's get into it. November 1st, 1919. Officer Ivan Gates would take off from an airport in Alameda, California, with inmate James Kelly also on board. Kelly was convicted of carrying a concealed weapon and was due back in San Francisco. They would take a short trip across the bay with Chief David A. White waiting to accept the inmate. Although this was a short flight, this would be the first time an inmate was transported by plane. The chief would comment on the flight. Think what a saving it would be if we can send a plane to Reno or Los Angeles for a man and have him back in a few hours. The name Con Air is a play on popular airlines like US Air. The official title of Con Air is the Justice, Prisoner, and Alien Transportation System, also known as JPATS. JPATS was formed in 1995 as a merge of responsibilities between the Marshal Service and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. JPATS is a branch of the United States Marshal Service, not the Bureau of Prisons, which serves as the enforcement arm of the U.S. federal court system. JPATS is also responsible for immigration and extradition transports, which are also included in the total statistics for the branch. On average, there are 715 requests for transfers a day. On a yearly basis, there are 260,000 movements. Over the life of the branch, they have flown over 70,000 hours with no incidents or accidents. Technically, this service is the only regularly scheduled government airline in the nation. The branch owns and operates 3 Boeing 737 aircraft, including a new 737-700 purchased in 2020. This system is for those in federal custody. Each state is responsible for its own inmates, but it can't contract with JPATS to move an inmate. There is no set fee, but to move an inmate in the continental U.S., the state and local agencies may have to pay a cost of up to $2,954. For the branch to transport a federal inmate, it averages around $1,350. The overall budget for the branch is over $75 million. The marshals on each plane are not only trained on inmate custody, but also flight operations, much like flight attendants, although they aren't offering a refreshing mid-flight beverage. Flights are kept secret from the public due to escape risks. Inmates don't know what day or time they may be transferred, which can lead to confusion and frustration. Handcuffs and belly chains are used to secure inmates during flights, but passengers are not restrained to their seat other than the standard seatbelt. This is due to FAA regulations. JPATS is headquartered out of Kansas City, Missouri, and handles all aspects of the air operations. Just like airports, this system has a prison facility to act as its hub of operations. The The Federal Transfer Center is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. As you would imagine, this facility is located at an airport. The Will Rogers World Airport uses the same runways and tarmacs as the terminal on the other side of the property. This facility was activated on April 17, 1995. It is a 7-story building that looks more like a jail than a prison. There are no double razor wire fences, just concrete. The facility is designed to hold 1,065 inmates, most leaving not long after their arrival. In actuality, the facility is consistently over capacity. Currently, it is holding 1,339 inmates. In 2017 alone, the facility processed an astounding 93,000 inmates. The average length of stay is just 97.3 days. According to the Bureau of Prisons, the mission of this facility is to confine, on a short-term basis, inmates who are being transported through the U.S. Marshal Service, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Parole Commission, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons Transportation System. There are other facilities that are next to airports, such as Federal Detention Center, Honolulu. This facility is located adjacent to the Daniel Inouye International Airport. Planes also have the capability of pulling directly up to this facility. Now that we've taken a look at the operations and facilities, we'll look at how Con Air is portrayed in TVs and movies. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the topic. As referenced at the beginning of the video, Con Air has to be the most prominent portrayal of JPADs. Although much of the movie is over-dramatized, the movie portrays a flight with the worst of the worst inmates, including gang leaders and serial killers. The screenwriter for the movie, Scott Rosenberg, experienced JPADs firsthand, taking several flights. He described his experience as very unsettling and a bit terrifying. The movie is a must-watch in my opinion. Another movie that probably more accurately portrays the JPAD system is U.S. Marshals, a film starring Tommy Lee Jones and Wesley Snipes that was released in 1998. The plane, a Boeing 737-200, looks more like a commercial plane with gates and inmates in full restraints. This is another great scene that shows Con Air in action. Here is a spoiler alert if you haven't seen this 25-year-old movie. After an attempted murder involving a zip gun, the plane crashes, and the marshals pursue the escaped convicts. Lastly, the popular Netflix show Orange is the New Black has an episode that features the main character, Piper Chapman, and her transfer to her new prison aboard a JPAD's plane. This was a chasing crime profile of the Justice, Prisoner, and Alien Transportation System, or Con Air, which is responsible for transporting federal inmates across the country. Thanks for watching. As always, see you next time.